is going on, everyone? We are back with another Shocktober 2022 reaction. I am Depraved.
I'm Hellcat.
And together we are...
HellaDepraved.
Alright, so I didn't wear my mask on the last one because it was sitting here and I forgot.
Sounds about right.
I got it now, though. And, okay, so the last one we did Guns N' Roses' Look at Your Game Girl, but we did the Charles Manson version.
Right.
We skipped number 34, which is the band is called Of Minstrel Blood and Semen, and the song is called Ackercock.
Okay.
Then we also skipped number 33, which is Bathory, and the song was called Call from the Grave.
Right.
We then skipped number 32, which was a band called Decide.
Deicide.
Deicide? Sure.
Which is God killing.
Right. And then that was called Once Upon the Cross.
Appropriate.
And then we skipped number 31, which was Jimmy Page's Lucifer Rising.
Okay. Why are we skipping that one?
Because I didn't... It was another heavy song.
Oh, okay.
All of the ones that I skipped were heavy songs.
Okay.
We are now on number 30. And this is the band name or artist name, I'm not sure. It's called Big Black, and the song is called Jordan, Minnesota.
Okay.
What we are going to do the normal... How we've been doing this, and I explain this to everyone because, you know, we never know who shows up, who doesn't.
Right.
We are going to listen to the song, talk about the lyrics as we go through. At the end of it, we will read what Genius says as far as what the song is about.
Mm-hmm.
And then we will go through and read why it got put on the list from Kerrang. Kerrang is the one we're getting the list from.
Right.
And, yeah.
Then decide if it's
it deserves to be on the list, and then we will further decide if it goes on our Shocktober playlist.
Got
it. So, with that being said, we're going to react to this if you guys have already heard it. If not, click the link in the description below. Hop on over to All Things Coming Back with that, because we're commentary reaction breakdown. I about said laxative. Commentary, or comedy channel.
Right.
We do laxatives, too.
Okay.
Vocal laxatives. Shit just happens. It is time to break it down. This is Big Black, Jordan, Minnesota.
Gary, Indiana. Sorry.
It's like the longest intro to a song ever.
It was a lot of ows.
And a lot of uhs. A lot of ows, a couple of uhs.
And we do what we like. Okay.
I do like the instrumental arrangement.
Yeah, I'm a little worried where the song is going, to be honest. If it starts with a lot of ows.
Right.
It's not pow. It's not that cartoony, like, you know.
Right.
Yeah. All right.
A song about child diddling.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and say that's accurate.
I All right, so stay with me. My 5-year-old genus annotation says this is from the perspective of like the adults causing the abuse and possibly the perspective of the child suffering with the trauma. Repeating the phrases and words the adults said.
Right.
Out of all the confessions and allegations of the abuse in Jordan, Minnesota. Oh, this is that cult.
Ding, ding, ding.
Okay. One of the more infamous ones was that of a child alleging that his parents had played a game of hide and seek with him and his siblings, in which the child who was found would then be diddled. This is Jordan. We do what we like, and this will stay with you until you die. A symptom of PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, common among diddling assault victims.
Yeah.
Constant flashbacks to the traumatic event in question.
I mean, that's literally what PTSD is. Yeah.
Right.
Now, that sucks because it's not wrong. It will stay with them until they die. Like, it's an imposer. Like, lives rent-free. No matter how far you get away from it. Yeah.
All right. So the most uncomfortable song I've ever had to sit through goes to. Now to the suck daddy part at the end of the song.
The annotation says.
The annotation says, Steve Albini ends the song by acting out one such act of child abuse in detail. Live performances tended to go in a different direction. Quote from Santiago Durango. We would get to a point in the song where we'd hit this really creepy noise, prolonged so it would just hang in the air. Discordant so you would get a creepy feeling. And then Steve would start pretending that he was one of the kids being snuggle-struggled. But I mean really intensely and just impeccable timing. It was actually very disturbing to watch. It would really get people unsettled. Well, no shit! All right.
Okay, so here's the thing. When bands like Skinned cover true crime, and I'm not gonna just, I mean, they do more than serial killers, which is why I'm just gonna say true crime. Even uncomfortable episodes, they're very respectful of the victims while still getting under your skin, being creepy, showing you the evil and monstrosity that was the event or the person or whatever, right?
Right.
They have all the discordant notes. They use all of the different harmonies and adjustments on her voice. There's the demonic sounds, but like they're still doing it with a message and a point and respect. To me, this song seems wholly unnecessary. And I only say that because it is not a tribute to the victims. Like, coming from somebody that has PTSD, which I do, if I had been somebody that had been part of this cult and I heard this song, this would be a major trigger. And it has no message. There's no message other than some of the saying that some of it is quoted from the victims at trial, and then, you know, like maybe stuff at the very end that the kids never even said. You know what I mean? It's just, to me, it's invasive and unnecessary.
The only positive I can see coming from this song is giving people that have never experienced,
Like, who can't understand.
giving them just a very small percentage of the unease listening to it.
But I think that's why I said, you know, like, for people that aren't necessarily true crime addicts, right? Skinned gets under your skin. They're creepy. They have very uncomfortable songs. You have even had a hard time with one of them, again, because it had to do with children. And yet it's still respectful in
Right.
terms of how the victims would see it or hear it, or, you know, I mean, granted, triggers suck. So, like, some could just be triggered by hearing the basic events or just Jordan, Minnesota, you know, but this seems like it's not. I get what you're saying, and again, I have nothing. I think people need to be able to have empathy. I think people need to be able to not victim blame, not shame them, but also not just look past them, if that makes sense.
First and foremost, I would like to say I am of the belief that this song did not need to be made.
That's why I said it's just, I feel like it's unnecessary.
However, one, considering I have never even heard this band name,
Right.
which means they probably don't get radio play, which means the only way the victims hear this song
As if they
is to seek it out.
Well, you could type in Jordan, Minnesota, and it may pop up. I mean, this
But
is
they would still be seeking it out, whether
Yeah.
it's... Now, with that being said, do I think it's right that they did this? No. I probably would not have gone that route, and I have said some fucked up things.
Yeah, I mean, we have dark humor, but there's nothing humorous about this.
But I mean, at the same time, it's their American right to do with what they please.
I mean, like, again, that's why I said it's unnecessary, not that... I just think that it was a unwise choice on their part.
Right. Now, this is number 30. This was put out in 1986. And it says, tiny Midwestern town Jordan, Minnesota entered the national consciousness in the U.S. in the mid-'80s when a number of school children claimed to have been ritually abused and to have witnessed multiple murders perpetrated by more than 20 townsfolk. The hysterical media coverage prompted Big Black's Steve Albini to write this disturbing pitch-black indictment of small-town corruption and perversion, complete with heavy breathing and lyrics such as "This is Jordan and we do what we like." Ultimately, the accusations were dismissed as pure fabrication, but the song remains a horrifying and sickening dissection of humanity's darkest impulses.
Was that the, oh, it was like a...
It was that town that's like out in the desert.
Cult scare, wasn't it?
No, it's that town. If you remember, we've seen a documentary or one of the episodes of something that we've watched. It's like this town that's kind of out in the desert-ish area. It actually had a few people that actually left the town and were able to get out.
Right.
We'd have to go find it. I know what they're talking about.
Okay.
Now, I agree with it being on this list.
Yeah, I don't know what the band's intent was with it, but it wasn't good. I'm not saying the band is evil or like, and it was malicious or anything. I'm just saying like, no one can write something this direct and only have good interests in place. Does that make sense? Like, it didn't have to be directed.
I think people just do crazy shit.
No, I know. That's why I'm
For
saying,
shock
like, I don't
factor.
think it was intentional or malicious or anything like that. I'm just saying, like,
Because
they couldn't have had, like, the best of interests at heart when they were writing this either.
right. I only say so. There was a time, and I that I wanted to write a song that I don't think you would have liked. We've talked about it. I was at one point even thinking what it was the song that I was going to write about Gacy from Gacy's perspective.
All right.
I don't know. Again, I do have a very fucked up dark side to me, not one that's like I'm going to go out and do anything.
Right. But see, I don't know. There's something about, like, so Gacy from Gacy's perspective, like, I feel like Skinned started that. They didn't really delve deep into it, but a lot of her lyrics are coming from his perspective. And honestly, the thought of that doesn't really bother me. I think this one, starting with it being a 5-year-old and ending with what no 5-year-old should know to say, nor would they willingly be saying. And just playing it out and then knowing that on stage he, like, actually acts it out. Now, here's the thing. I know people do fucked up shit. And if this was, like, all the cases were dismissed and maybe the guy that wrote this seriously thought that it was just hysteria and he wasn't actually victimizing somebody again because there were no victims in his mind, because that's what had been decided, you know, politically or legally. I still think it was an unnecessary song, but, like, I know what you're saying. But I don't know. I don't know. I just feel like, yeah, unnecessary. And is it an evil song? Yeah, because it portrays a very evil side of humanity and an evil act, and they'll have those memories whether they're tortured by them or not for the rest of their lives.
Will it make the Shocktober playlist?
Absolutely not. Yeah.
I don't want to listen to this song ever again. And again, not because it sounded bad or anything like that. I actually thought performance-wise,
So goddamn uncomfortable.
Performance-wise, taking lyrics away, it sounded good.
Yeah.
As far as an old 80s song would.
Yeah, I mean, not terrible band.
But
I don't need to hear this again.
I don't want to hear it ever again, and it's mostly because of how uncomfortable it made me. I don't know if you guys noticed, about 3/4 of the way through the song, I stopped bobbing my head and just stared at the lyrics like, what the fuck am I reading?
Right. Well, as soon as I started hearing "ow," because I can't really see the lyrics from here. As soon as I was like, "Oh, this is not going to be good."
No.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway.
All right.
If you made it through that,
Congrats, Kerrang, for actually having a song on this list that actually deserves to be on this fucking list.
right. It only took you to 30, but you know.
No, they've had a couple. And to be fair, we've also skipped a bunch that probably
not any that made us uncomfortable, though.
No. The list is still young.
Oh.
All right, so if you guys can stomach the video, slash that like button, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. Comment down below what did you think of Big Black, Jordan, Minnesota.
You better have hated it. I mean, I'm sorry.
Also comment.
I will judge you.
Also comment down below if there's anything else that you think we should do.
Not like this.
That's not like this, preferably.
Yeah,
guys, okay, we love y'all. Thank y'all for
Bye.
watching. We'll see you all next time. Bye.
Toodaloo.